What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Boyz Podcast, episode 12. We're a little short-handed today, but you know how it is. We'll roll through it. You got me, Big E, and Buddha here. We're going to break down all the training camp news. We're going to break down a few topics and get y'all prepared for our episode 14 in 2 weeks, and we will break down every Week 1 game in detail. We're going to get started with the training camp news, and man, has it been an injury-riddled couple of days.
Goodness gracious.
I'm going to go ahead and get Dallas's out of the way because I know you. Gerald McCoy, former Tampa Bay Buccaneer and Carolina Panther, tore his quad in practice the other day. Dallas ended up cutting him today due to a little clause in his contract.
Hey, so here's my thing with that situation. I'm kind of pissed off about it. You and I talked about it a little bit. We touched up. I really kind of didn't explain fully what was going on with how I felt. I'm pissed. We bring in this guy. You know, he's been to Pro Bowls. He can play the game well, knows what he's doing. At the end of the day, we need a run stopper. He's a good run stopper. Don't care what anyone says. I don't care what his past few games he's done. He does the job well. That's all we need to do. I believe it was one of the actual first days of, considered, full padded practices they've had. They went, full on. I watched the video of, the play that he did it on. First and foremost, the drill that he was doing, it seemed like they were doing simple pass pro. It seemed like the defensive unit guys, they were all over there, and they were emulating tackles, offensive tackles, and they were doing the drop step, the drop step for pass pro, and a simple rush. And it seemed like because the thing that for begin with made no sense. This is why I'm mad. You're gonna do drills like this if you're gonna do pass protection. Do it with some kind of offensive player that plays the position you're trying to emulate. Don't use professional athletes in practice at different positions they don't even play. Come on now, be smart. You got practice squad players. You got you got second, third string players that are there. Use them. It takes 30 seconds to use them. You need to bring them over there if you want a better look. Don't use your own daggone defensive unit players if you're going to do that kind of thing. It's dumb. It's dumb. I don't know about any other injuries in the NFL, but this one I feel like could have been prevented sometimes in certain situations. It's just a simple roll-up, which this one was. I mean, it was a simple injury where he was simply emulating a tackle. He tried to drop step. His foot got stepped on by the defensive player, and he fell backwards, and his weight just landed wrong. That happens with anybody. That could happen. But I'll let you take it over. I think it could be prevented, but there's definitely been a lot more injuries throughout the NFL, which is kind of crazy. But also kind of what you would think would happen at this point in the season at the very beginning.
Yeah, I mean, I know it's usually, a thing with training camp and preseason and all that stuff, but it's I think something about them not being in off-season workouts all summer kind of had something to do with the injuries thing. They haven't been around the facility, since, May, they usually are. So that's something. I'm just going to go through them. Dolphins linebacker Vince Beagle has torn his Achilles tendon and will miss the 2020 season. I think he's a backup for one of the Dolphins linebacker positions.
He is.
So that hurts the death-wise. Bears cornerback Artie Burns, formerly of the Pittsburgh Steelers, tore his ACL today. His season is over. He was going to be the cornerback opposite Kyle Fuller over there in Chicago, so that hurts the starting depth. This really isn't an injury, but I do want to touch on it. Chargers defensive end Melvin Ingram is not practicing at training camp because he is dissatisfied with his current contract. Imagine that. He's getting a $14 million bonus this year, none of it which is guaranteed, which I guess is why he's upset. But he ain't worth that. I mean, he's good, but he's not Joey Bosa. I don't know, man. I'm fine with some elite players doing this that know what they're worth, like Zeke and Adams and whoever else over the years has done this. But, man, get your ass on the field. Excuse me. I don't know. It's starting to irritate me more and more now.
I mean, just seems at that point, I don't think there's any reason why he shouldn't be playing. I mean, it's not like what they're giving him isn't unreasonable. It's a good amount of money.
Yeah.
A lot more than what a lot of percentage of the NFL players are going to be making throughout the whole COVID season. end of the day, play. You got an opportunity to play. You see your teammates are going to play. At the end of the day, if you know for a fact which the NFL players basically do, like it's kind of unlocked for the NFL if they do in fact play. Like if you play, like anyone knows, you win games, you make money. You win playoff games, you make money. You win Super Bowls, you make money. At the end of the day, that's what these teams want. And if you do that, players get paid. He's going to get what he wants. You should want to play. Bottom line.
Yeah, Cardinals defensive back, his name is Robert Alford. He tore his pec yesterday. It will knock him out. He was out for most of the season last year with a knee injury, so hate to hear that.
Hey, question. On that list of the players that have gotten injured, I'm pretty sure a couple of them, or a few, are Eagles players. I know Dallas has a pretty big one. I think the Eagles are a few of those.
Eagles
if I check correctly.
Of course, no, their offense, there's a couple of their linemen have been hurt. The Browns announced yesterday that Nick Chubb has a possible concussion. That's their star back, so that's good. We talked about Gerald McCoy. 49ers receiver Jalen Hurd tore his ACL yesterday. Trey Waynes, formerly of the Vikings, now plays for Cincinnati, tore his pectoral muscle. Just so many injuries. Then we got the other news around the league. You got the Ravens bringing in Des Bryant for a workout, and that could be interesting, especially if
that'd be awesome, dude. I'd be really, really happy.
That could be interesting if Des is like a quarter of what Des was in Dallas. That's the last thing Baltimore needs, is more talent. This was also pretty interesting. So yesterday, Jamal Adams responded to Greg Williams, the defensive coordinator in New York with the Jets, saying that he'll get bored in Seattle with the cover 3 that Seattle likes to run. And he said this: I think he definitely misses me. A lot of them miss me over there. I don't think I'll get bored winning. That's how I look at it. I'll be all right. It's from Seattle Seahawks safety Jamal Adams. What do you think?
With Jamal, dude, I think he's in a good spot. I think he's in a good situation to win, be an absolute dog. What person in the Jets organization made that comment?
That would be Greg Williams, their defensive coordinator.
Yeah, it's Greg Williams. Not going to be okay. I was going through Twitter one night, and I saw where someone quoted that and posted it. One of like the NFL intel people, Cam Chancellor, commented on it, because the comment was basically what he said was that Seattle's aren't very active.
Yeah, Seattle
when it
safeties
comes
are
to their safeties. And Cam Chancellor says, I'm sorry, what? I believe something like that he said. Like, you're saying he's not going to be active for the Seahawks? Come on.
Oh, let's see. I think
he's obviously butthurt because he's gone, and he's a rare talent.
I think we talked about this on a couple of podcasts ago about Seattle. Cam Chancellor and Earl Thomas is one of the best safety duos to ever play.
Yep. Hands down.
So, to say that they don't do anything over there, like, come on, bro. You're just jealous. Greg Williams, shut the hell up. Yeah, it's kind of for the news around the league. That's something we're going to do around here often because it seems like all the league news happens in between the days that we do podcasts, or the days that we record them anyway. So, now we're going to get into a topic, and this one's a little close to my heart, obviously, but I'm going to let Buddha start it off, and then I'll go into my details because that's how I am with my team. We're going to start off with Teddy Bridgewater, quarterback of the Carolina Panthers.
Basically, what I just want to ask you, Big D, what you think, what your input is whether or not you think Teddy Bridgewater is going to be the man for the Panthers. You think he can be the guy that isn't just going to be there for the year and leave and sign for another team? What do you think is going to be his future? What do you think he can do for the team?
Depends on how we do, honestly. If he plays all right, but we suck, and we have a top 5 pick, I see us going quarterback, Lawrence Fields Lance. But if he plays really well, which he has the possibility to do, we could possibly be looking at another position in the draft. And, I mean, we did sign him for 3 years for $63 million. So, yeah, I think he's got all the tools around us now. I mean, he's got the face of the franchise, Christian McCaffrey, the trio that we got of receivers and DJ Moore, Curtis Samuel, and Robbie Anderson. Only thing I think might hurt him is that he's playing behind one of the league's worst offensive lines. And it's just a young team. But if I had my guess, I don't think he's going to be the starter there for more than a year. But,
yeah,
just to kind of go into him a little bit, he was the 32nd overall pick in 2014 by the Vikings. He spent 3 years there. He started 28 games, threw for over 6,000 yards, 28 touchdowns, and 22 interceptions. 2015, he made the Pro Bowl as he led Minnesota to an 11-5 record and a playoff berth. That was the playoff game that the Vikings kicker missed a 21-yard field goal. I don't remember the kicker's name. Teddy threw for over 3,200 yards and 14 touchdowns. My only concern with him is his injury, and you probably know which one I'm talking about. Before the 2016 season, when he had that gruesome knee injury in training camp that ended his career in Minnesota. He was signed by the Jets because the Vikings let him go. Didn't really do much there. Was traded to New Orleans where he backed up Breeze for 2 years. Only got in 6 games of action, 5 of those being last year. Went 5-0 and Breeze got hurt against the Rams. Threw her 1,500 yards and 10 touchdowns in 6 starts. Pretty solid work, which is why he got the money that he got from us. Like I said, I think he's got a lot of tools around him, but I just don't see him there for very long. I think he's a bridge quarterback to possibly Justin Fields or Trey Lance or even Trevor Lawrence if we suck that bad, but I don't think we will. I don't know. I personally, I like him, and I'm going to root for him. He's my quarterback, but I could see him being on the bench within a year and a half.
Really? Okay.
What do you think?
I don't know. I mean, I think he's one of those quarterbacks where it's where if there's a line where it says he's done enough, basically, is that point. I'm trying to say he's right below that. I feel like I don't think he's done enough to be able to prove to me that he's an elite quarterback.
Oh, he's nowhere near elite.
Here's my thing, though. I think he could do it with this team he has. You have Moore, you have McCaffrey. It's really all you need.
Curtis,
you have 2 players.
Robbie.
At the end of the day, you got to account for McCaffrey in the passing game. Think about it. You have 2 elite receivers. You're going to be doing pretty well. And I think he's the quarterback that he's not going to quite be as mobile as Lamar, but I feel like he's going to be moving a little bit. I think he's going to be better with throwing the ball.
My only thing is with him, is he going to be able to put up 25, 30 points a game because our defense isn't really going to stop anybody. They're so young. I mean, the oldest player on the defense is 31. It's just Kawan Short.
That's true.
Stephen Weatherly is in his upper 20s. You got 2 rookies, Yatir Gross-Matos out of Penn State and Derek Brown. You got Brian Burns, who's in his mid-20s. Shaq Thompson, upper 20s. Shakir Whitehead, I think, is 30. Andre Carter Jr. is in his 20s. Trey Boston, I think, is in his upper 20s. Jeremy Chin's a rookie. Dante Jackson, upper 20s. It's a lot of upper 20, mid-20 guys on our defense. And it's a new system and a guy that coached defense in the Big 12. And we all know how defense is played in the Big 12.
All offense, baby.
So that accompanied with being in the NFC South along with Brady, Breeze, and Ryan. Also got to play Kansas City and Denver and Chargers and I don't know. Green Bay, Minnesota. I think the schedule's too tough. I think the youth is going to be a problem, and I don't see more than 5 wins, if I'm being honest.
Okay, yeah. So that's what y'all have to say about that topic in particular.
I'm going to go into a situation that interests me. We talked about Baltimore with Dez, about how they had an elite running back last year, Mark Ingram, brought in from New Orleans, rushed for over 1,000 yards. And then they go out in the second round of the draft and absolutely steal Ohio State's J.K. Dobbins from everyone.
Uh-huh.
What do you think about Mark Ingram and J.K. Dobbins?
I think they're both incredibly good players that are going to give your team a boost, and that's the bottom line. I mean, Ingram's proved it with the Ravens that he can play well. I mean, I think he's made Lamar a better player when it comes down to it. He's a really good teacher when it comes to things. He's been there, done that. Dobbins, very good talent. I don't think he's like an elite Pro Bowl caliber guy, I feel like. But he's going to be he's going to impact players for your roster. So,
yeah, I mean, Ingram, obviously, the run game is Baltimore's success. Because you have to put Lamar in this, too. Mark Ingram last year, 200 carries, over 1,000 yards, and 10 touchdowns. Made the Pro Bowl. It was his third Pro Bowl trip. He made it in 2014 and 2017 in New Orleans. He's eclipsed 1,000 yards 3 times in his career, 2016, 2017, and 2018. So, he's rushed for over 1,000 yards 3 out of the last 4 seasons. And then Dobbins was the 55th overall selection in this past year's draft. At Ohio State, he was nothing but dominant. 3 years, over 4,400 yards and 38 touchdowns in 3 years. He had 1,000 yards every season and had a yards per carry average of 6.2 for his career. Freshman year, over 1,400 yards and 7 touchdowns. Second year, over 1,010. But last year, I mean, the fact he was a mid-second kind of surprised me because of these numbers. And I know running backs are running backs, and we've talked about, and Carl and Delby and all of us have talked about how replaceable the running back position is in the NFL.
No. He talked about.
But the man ran for over 2,000 yards and 21 touchdowns with a 6.7 yards per carry. Like, that's crazy. It's almost 7 yards a carry. What are you going to do to stop that?
Nothing.
I think it could be a deadly 1-2 punch. If you remember a couple years ago when Mark Ingram was in New Orleans, him and Alvin Kamara, when Kamara was a rookie, both rushed for over 1,000 yards, and they had that really nice 1-2 punch. Ingram down in the red zone.
Crazy.
Yeah. I think that's possible. I think they're both the same type of back, though, but I think Dobbins has more speed. So I'm curious to see how it works out. And like I said, you got to add Lamar Jackson in there. My man rushed for over 1,000 yards last year. That's the main part of his game. People can say what he wants. He's a quarterback. I get it, but he's a runner, and this possibly has the options of being one of the best run games in the league with Lamar and Mark Ingram and J.K. Dobbins. I think it was a great pick, especially at the position that they got him. We've talked about a little before how if you're comparing rosters, to me, Baltimore has the best roster on paper in the National Football League. Lamar Jackson, Mark Ingram, J.K. Dobbins, Hollywood Brown, they have a very good line. Their defense is ridiculous. Earl Thomas, they added Patrick Queen, they added Calais Campbell from Jacksonville. They added a bunch of pieces. I personally think they're going to win the Super Bowl this year, if I'm being honest with you.
All right. I like that pick.
I think Lamar, I think he finally gets over his playoff hump. I think Kansas City's schedule is too tough. I do think that will be the AFC Championship game. But I think Baltimore finally learns to get it done. It just depends who comes out of the stacked NFC to see if they can possibly win another Super Bowl. Because we've talked about it before, the NFC is so stacked with elite Super Bowl contenders. Philly, Dallas.
Once again, the NFC takes over the NFL.
Yeah, Philly, Dallas, San Francisco, Seattle, Green Bay, Minnesota, New Orleans, Tampa Bay. Am I forgetting anybody?
I like how you said Philadelphia first, though. I really appreciate that.
Well,
I appreciate that.
It's the first name that came out of my mouth. It's no offense. But yeah, there's so many Super Bowl contenders, and like I said, like I personally see you only got 7 playoff spots with all those teams mentioned, and barring an injury or something like that, which is all possible with the Eagles and the Cowboys, it happens. I think they both make the playoffs. I think Seattle and San Francisco both make the playoffs. I think New Orleans and Tampa make the playoffs, and that's 6 spots. And then you got that 7 spot fighting up between Green Bay and Minnesota, if I'm being honest.
And those are still very good teams.
Yeah, so, like, I think Minnesota gets that. I mean, the NFC is just so stacked with contenders. You you come into the saying, the saying in the playoffs and pretty much all leagues, NHL, NBA, MLB, NFL, all you got to do is get in. Well, there's so much elite talent in the NFC, that's really all you got to do. All you got to do is get in. Like, I think you know the saying. It's called anybody can win on any given Sunday.
Any given Sunday, dude. Especially in playoffs, dude. Playoffs is a whole new season. Brand new season.
Yeah, exactly. It resets.
Anything that happened before that, it's irrelevant.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing with, like, the NBA right now is the Bucks got beat by the Magic earlier today. Anything you did before these bubbles doesn't matter. Like,
exactly.
The same goes with the NHL. Like, the St. Louis Blues, the defending champions, went down 2-0 to Vancouver, but they've won the last 2 games to tie that series up at 2.
And look at the Caps.
And the Caps are about to get swept by the New York Islanders. So, anything that these NHL or NBA teams did before the bubble doesn't matter. I mean, you look right now. I mean, we've had the NBA playoffs today. Miami beat Indiana. Boston yesterday beat Philadelphia. Milwaukee lost to the Magic. Like I said, this is what I love about playoffs, man. In any sport. It's like...
And my Celtics are still up, baby, so that's all I'm caring about.
So, speaking of baseball, I want to talk about something. I don't know if you've seen this going around, but there's this player for the San Diego Padres. His name is Fernando Tatis Jr. Yesterday, there's a lot of controversy going around surrounding that name right now because he hit a grand slam up on a 3-0 pitch, up 7 runs yesterday, and the Texas Rangers manager and his own manager got after him because that was against the unbroken rule of baseball.
Unwritten rule. Here's my thing. Here's my input. Unwritten rules. Here's a lot of things. A lot of reason. Big reason why people don't like Cam Newton is the fact that a lot of people got pissed off a little unwritten rule of the crap that he did where he was dancing in front of people's faces. Well, he pulled the ultimate Michael Irvin quote. If you don't want me to dance, stop me. It's that simple. If you don't want me to hit a grand salami, hey, why don't you not get 3-0? Why don't you not get ahead up in 3-0 in the count?
Yeah.
Why don't you get ahead of the count? Play ball.
Honestly, that's what everybody was saying on Twitter. Like, even pitchers were saying, like, if you don't want them to hit a home run,
exactly.
pitch better.
Pitch
better. Simple. Yeah, I kind of found that funny, and then today they were up.
How many runs was it? 14 runs? Was it something like that? Was
7.
The final score? Gosh, 7 runs. Okay, either way.
No, they were up 7 runs, and he hit a grand slam on a 3-0 count. The ball was right down the middle. What do you expect him to do? He's a professional baseball player. He's taught to swing the bat at the ball. Like,
now, granted, I get it. I get why a lot of people are frustrated. The 3-0 count. A lot of guys, there's some players that have the green light to hit a 3-0 count. Either most of the time, though, it's a very big rule, or basically kind of like an unwritten rule, that if it's 3-0 count, you don't swing. 3-0, you don't swing. A lot of time, coaches get really, really ticked off if you swing on a 3-0 pitch. Coach of mine that I knew that if you did that, you pretty much would be out for the rest of the game. Like, if you took a 3-0 pitch, it's just, if you tried to swing a 3-0 pitch, it's just the way it is. But I think if you have the green light, like a lot of players have the green light to hit 3-0 pitches. I believe you're paid, like you said, you're paid to play the game well. If you don't want them to score, what was the total runs at the end of that game that they ended up scoring?
I'm not sure looking at it, but they were up 7, and the grand slam is 4, so it was at least 11.
So 12?
Yeah, 7 around there.
Okay, yeah. So, like I said, if you don't want them to do that crap, you don't want them to keep scoring, stop them.
Also, this just came out. Browns linebacker Mac Wilson has suffered a hyperextended knee in practice, unsure of how much time he will miss.
Dude, this happens every single season at the beginning of the season. It just happens. Here's the thing. At the end of the day, your body really isn't meant to play the game of football the way it's supposed to be played. Okay, your body's not supposed to be meant to be put through all that.
Yep.
Especially these players that are playing since like kindergarten all the way up to like they're 45. Like those kind of guys, like I understand like why, like they really want to get like a ton of like basically enforcing insurance to the players to make sure the players are covered after the game. Because, like, you're putting your body on the line for it. So.
Yeah. So, here's a question. Which of the 3 teams that are opening a new stadium this year do you think will finish with the best record? Vegas, the LA Chargers, or the LA Rams?
Dude, I like the Chargers.
Really?
I really do. Like, I mean, you got Keenan Allen.
Yeah.
He's an absolute stud. You got Tyrod. He's an absolute stud. You and I both know what kind of player Tyrod is.
Yep.
He's just very charismatic. Like, he's a leader, a born leader.
Telling you, there's things that Tyrod does
you
really...
have Bosa. And then, look, you have one of the best pass rushers in the league.
Yeah, you said something about Tyrod with, like, the leader and doesn't turn the ball over and makes good decisions with the ball. All those 3 things
the Bills to the playoffs.
Yeah.
The Bills.
All those 3 things that I just mentioned are Justin Herbert's 3 biggest weaknesses. He is the perfect guy to come in there and mentor Justin Herbert for the future.
Exactly.
Perfect guy. I personally think... I just think the Chargers are going to have problems offensively just due to the whole quarterback situation. I think the Rams aren't going to be really good because they're in the division with Arizona, Seattle, and San Francisco, and Jared Goff is extremely overrated. I think it's Vegas.
Really?
I think it's Vegas.
Why?
I think they're well coached. Derek Carr isn't as bad as people say he is. They have one of the best running backs in the league, up and coming, in Josh Jacobs. They got Henry Ruggs from Bama. They have a pretty solid defense. I don't think, obviously they're in a division with Kansas City and Denver, so that doesn't help matters. But I think they could go 9-7, possibly make a run at that 7th spot in the AFC. Yeah, I think it's Vegas. I think Vegas it's that Las Vegas thing. They just, like, you probably remember, I know you've just kind of gotten into paying attention to hockey and stuff, but the Vegas Golden Knights made the Stanley Cup final in their first year. They were in the playoffs last year, and now they're now about to beat the Chicago Blackhawks to advance to the second round of the Stanley Cup playoffs. Like, they've made the playoffs every year they've been in the league for an expansion team. That's ridiculous. So, I'm not saying the Raiders are going to make the playoffs, but I don't trust the Chargers, and I damn sure don't trust the LA Rams.
That's reasonable, though.
And you said this earlier, like, as far as college football is concerned, whether the Big 12, SEC, or ACC plays, I really don't care anymore. If they play, they play. If they don't, they don't. I know that the National Football League will be playing games in 4 weeks, so we're getting ready for that. I guess the over-under is how many points are Kansas City going to put up on Houston.
Oh, come on, man. Why are you going to target Houston like that?
You know why I'm targeting...
Deshaun Watson deserves better.
Deshaun Watson does deserve better, but come on, their defense isn't that good. J.J. Watt can't stay healthy.
He needs to retire is what he needs to do.
Like, J.J. Watt can't stay healthy.
I hate to say it. I've always been a J.J. Watt fan from the beginning.
They literally...
I needs to retire.
I mean, the people that think they're going to be as good as they were last year when you traded away your best player and the number 2 receiver in the league for a bag of half-eaten potato chips.
Ain't that the truth, man?
Brandon Cooks can't stay healthy. David Johnson can't stay healthy. Their offensive line is atrocious. Their head coaching and general manager, Bill O'Brien, is the biggest moron I've ever seen. Like, here's the thing I'll say to Deshaun Watson. Pack your bags and run the hell away from Houston.
I hear you.
Yeah, I'm not going to get into too much because that's in 2 weeks where we'll break down all the games, but I think it's going to be an ass-kicking. Here's the real thing, though. Here's the real big question. Here's my thing. Oh, we definitely haven't talked about this yet. NFL news, I almost forgot. This past week, like the Cowboys needed any more talent, They went out and signed free agent defensive end Everson Griffin for the Minnesota Vikings. What are your immediate thoughts?
I think that's probably one of the biggest moves we made in the offseason. That's really going to seal this defensive unit together and kind of give people a way to hype off that offense and off Dak Prescott. Because I think that Dak Prescott's going to have a lot more possessions because because the rest of his players on his defense, they're looking good. I mean, we talked about it earlier. You break it down when it comes to Dallas' defense. You got Everson Griffin, DeMarcus Lawrence on the end, which I've also looked. Alden Smith has also been playing on the edge too.
I completely forgot y'all signed him, to be honest with you.
Which he is one of those sleeper guys that I think is gonna start to come back out again. But that's beside the point. You have them on the edge. You have an excellent linebacker core of Leighton Vander Esch, Sean Lee, and Jalen Smith.
If Sean Lee can stay healthy.
If Sean Lee can stay healthy.
As me and you like to say, shout out to Magruder. Is Sean Lee playing?
Sean Lee's playing. So,
as I said earlier,
those guys that receiving core, like you and I talked about, the DB unit, they're but I think we made some all-season moves with HaHa Clinton Diggs. So, I think we picked up guys that can do well. We also picked up a rookie DB. I think you'll see our turnover ratio kind of go up a little bit this year. That was the problem last year. We couldn't get the turnovers we needed. That's the main reason why we got rid of
Byron Jones.
Gosh, Byron Jones, dude, I'm tired, man. I apologize.
Oh, you're good. Just to go through Everson Griffin real quick, he has only had 2 seasons, and he's been in the league since 2010. He didn't start. He had 4 sacks in 2011. 8 in 2012. He had 5.5 in 2013. He didn't start starting until 2014. He's been a Pro Bowler 4 out of the last 6 seasons. 2014, he committed 12 sacks. 2015, Pro Bowler 10.5. 2016, Pro Bowler 8. His best year came in 2017, where he had 13 sacks, 45 tackles, and 25 quarterback hits. 2018 is only one of his not only Pro Bowl years. Had 5.5, and last year he was another Pro Bowler. Started 15 games. He had an even interception. Had 8 sacks. 41 combined tackles. First career, he's got 74.5 sacks. Like, the man knows how to get to the quarterback. And usually in Minnesota, he's always had a partner because he has Hunter. Crap, I can't remember his first name. In Minnesota. And now he's got DeMarcus Lawrence on the other side. I've said it before. I'll say it again. I'll say it till I'm blue in the face. There is no reason, no effort, that the Dallas Cowboys are not a playoff team this year. And I don't mean some 9-7 playoff team. They should be a 11-12 win team that is in the playoffs and should win the division in my eyes. No offense to the Eagles or Carson Wentz. Sorry, Dobie. The Cowboys are the favorites in the NFC East. There's something else that intrigues me is, like, you guys who went out and got all these players. But honestly, this team, defense can be as good as it wants, but, like, this team runs as Dak Prescott runs it. So, that's pretty interesting. You know a player that I think is really underrated, or is going to be underrated? Michael Pittman Jr., Indianapolis. He has this YouTube channel I was watching and stuff. Man, I think this kid's going to be good. Out of USC. It's definitely something Indianapolis needed. T.Y. Hilton literally cannot stay off of the bench. Like, he's hurt all the time. And they brought in Michael Pittman Jr. out of USC. My man, dude's fast. He's got good hands. He's got good route running. You know what I love about training camp is just seeing all these teams on social media post videos and photos of them on the field. It's like we have on the field stuff, and we're 4 weeks out from NFL football. That's what I am most excited for. And And I also know you are too, because you've said it to me on multitude of occasions.
Dude, like every day, bro. I'm telling you, I'm just ready for the NFL season to start. I want to watch my Cowboys play.
It's not even just the obviously Carolina's my voice, but it's everybody. I just want to watch football.
Oh, dude, there's so many good teams. Yeah, I'm not just saying my Cowboys. Sorry, that's not kind of biased.
Like,
I'm just ready for NFL football. Like, I'm ready for the game to be played. Like, I'm just excited for it.
Like, I'm counting down the days till Houston, Kansas City, man.
And I'm excited that we're playing the Rams. That's pretty tough. I think that the Hard Knocks episode, I think hopefully
you honestly know what I do notice though, is the fact that y'all have this rookie center that's gonna have to block Aaron Donald in his first game.
I'm not worried about it. You know
you
what?
Talking about you of course talking about a hey, you're in the NFL now, have fun moment. You get to block the best player in the league.
I think he'll be fine. I think he'll be fine, and if not, he'll have guard help, which we have an excellent guard.
You do, but as we've discussed before, Aaron Donald, you can do whatever you want.
Okay.
You can double team him. But
last time we played the Rams, you can look at the stats for Aaron Donald. He did not have a very good game against us.
That's fair. It's still a interesting matchup to look at when you got a rookie center. Like you said, you're gonna have to give him guard help because if you try to go one-on-one with the rookie against Aaron Donald, do you know what's gonna happen? Dak Prescott's gonna be on his butt. Yeah, I think it's interesting y'all are opening up with the Rams. The Rams are opening up SoFi Stadium. But that should be
I like it. I'm excited. I like the different change besides just seeing the normal Giants. The usual Giants.
It's still weird, though.
It's good talent, though. I like that.
It's still insanely weird that y'all aren't opening with the Giants, though.
That is true. It does feel weird, but I'm still excited for it.
But as I've been saying, we'll break down all 16 of these games in a couple weeks. The way these podcasts during the year are kind of going to work, during the week before the game, we're going to break them down. And it's really going to turn into, after week one, we're going to break the week one games down and then preview the week two. So we're going to have some long podcasts when the season starts. But I cannot wait. All right. Buddha, it's time for make or break, if you know how this works.
Yeah.
Okay. Make or break. Tom Brady has his best career year in Tampa.
I think that this year, I don't know if you looked at him here recently, that throw that you made to Gronk on Twitter, just over the shoulder, just a dot, I think that just sums up how his play is going to be this year. He's I don't know if you know, he has his TB12 diet, he has his own diet system, he's looking absolutely shredded. Dude's 45, I don't know how old he is, but
42,
he's in his
I believe.
40s. Yeah, he's in his 40s and he's throwing well the way he does. And I think this year, I think this year you're going to see a lot more aggressive, assassin style, Tom Brady. He's going to be throwing a lot more, 60-yard touchdowns, that kind of deal. I don't think it's going to be the checkdowns like he saw in New England. Now, if it comes with Bruce Arians' offense, it becomes a lot more interceptions because you're rolling the dice, you're throwing the deep balls, you're taking chances with the one-on-one matchups with the DBs. So, I don't know. I think he's going to still have a crazy season. I just think he's going to have a little bit more turnovers than usual, but I think he's going to still be just as productive. So I think I think you could see a potential Super Bowl bound Tom Brady again, and this could be.
I think it's possible. I don't think they win the division, but I do think they go farther than the Saints in the playoffs because, look, what have the Saints done in the playoffs recently? Lose.
Nothing.
Lose. And that's not my biased hatred towards them. It's just facts. Yes, they got screwed in the NFC title game, but they lost in the Minneapolis Miracle. They lost last year. Both times they've lost to Minnesota, they shouldn't have lost to them. Yeah, I agree. I don't think Brady's going to be throwing a lot of deep passes. Just because
they said he was throwing 60-yard bombs in practice. You kidding me?
Well, yeah, but that's practice.
Dude, no, that's Bruce Arians' offense, dude. It's
I know. I just said I don't think he fits it well, but I see a way that Yeah, I agree with you that he might be throwing a little more interceptions, but I think it's definitely an upgrade, obviously. You're not going to have Jameis just freaking chucking the ball up to Mike Evans 40 times a game. But as we've said, he's got his best weapons that he's ever had. Mike Evans is a top 10 receiver. Chris Godwin is a borderline top 10 receiver.
Not to mention Gronk.
Got Gronk. I'm still a little iffy what he's going to do coming back after being a year off, but if it's like half of what Gronkowski used to be, they'll be fine. The running back position leaves a lot to be desired, and they've got a really underrated defense. They're well coached. I'm very curious to see how he does. I think they're playing Saints week 1, Brady and Breeze, so that should be pretty entertaining.
Yeah, dude.
Okay.
What you got? What's the next one?
Make or break. Joe Burrow is Rookie of the Year.
No, I just don't think so. I don't see him having enough talent surrounded by him to put the numbers that he needs to. I think he's going to perform well despite the circumstances in Cincinnati. I just can't. There's too many good rookies, dude. This draft class is stacked. You got Chase Young, which you saw the video today. I mean, he's going to be a problem. I mean, you have so many of the good receivers that were drafted this year. Not to mention that there was pretty decent quarterback class as well.
Yeah.
So
to be fair, though, I don't think Tua or Herbert are going to be playing this year, or at least they shouldn't be.
Either way, though, dude, I just don't foresee Burrow getting the offensive. I just don't see it. I don't see it.
So, to me, defensive rookie of the year could be either Chase Young or Okuda. It could be either one of them. But if I had to put a bet, Chase Young is going to wreak havoc on some offensive lines and some quarterbacks this year.
I think Okuda's not going to be. I mean, I think he's going to be a dog, but I don't think he's going to be as what he's hyped up to be. I think he's going to be a solid, elite corner, but I don't think he's going to be like the next, like Patrick Peterson or like anybody like that.
It's fair.
But then again, he hasn't played yet, so I just want to see him play.
Like you said earlier, I think there's a couple of teams that in a regular year wouldn't have been very good, but this year they might surprise some people.
I just think because it's just a matter of teams that are going to they're going to have injury issues. Players are going to test positive for COVID. I think it's going to be any man's game. I think anyone.
Here's the real thing, though. Here's the real thing. Is there a much more feel-good story in the NFL than watching Alex Smith take live snaps at a practice?
Dude, that was insane. I was going back and looking his whole process, when he went into surgery. And I didn't realize this. I knew he had a chance of losing his leg. He almost died.
Yeah.
Because he had gotten an infection or something.
Yeah, it was flesh-eating bacteria in his injury. Yeah.
Dude. That's insane.
17
the
surgeries.
fact that he was walking, they said he wasn't even going to be able to walk, ready to play NFL football. Come on, that's awesome.
The man's been cleared. He's off the PUP list. He was throwing No, he was actually doing drills yesterday at Washington.
Yeah, I was about to say,
camp.
he was doing drills.
So, I'm telling you right now, as much as it'll scare the crap out of me, he will be taking snaps in a game this season.
That's going to be insane, to see. I'm pulling for him.
Oh, I am too.
I really am.
It's there's not another feel-good story in the league that tops it. All of that stuff that he went through, it wasn't just his leg, man. He almost lost his life. It was, it's pretty crazy. The NFC East has a lot of storylines this year, man. I'm not even
really
talking about Philly or Dallas. The other two have their own, too. Obviously, you got Washington with the name change and everything going on down there. The Giants are an interesting team to me. I actually like Daniel Jones. I think he did pretty well last year despite everyone crapping all over his draft pick.
Yeah, at the end of the day, he's played well. I don't think he's necessarily been an elite quarterback, but
No.
I think
He's played well, and it also helps when you have one of the league's best running backs standing behind you.
Exactly.
Saquon is... You know what's crazy to me is Saquon missed 4 games last year and still rushed for 1,000 yards. Also, like, the Giants defensively, it's still a lot to be desired. I still think they should have taken Isaiah Simmons instead of Andrew Thomas, but I know how Dave Gettleman is. He just likes to take offensive linemen, even though he never did that in Carolina, which I don't understand. It's been an interesting offseason, to say the least.
To say the least.
Oh, I read this today. That Jared Stidham threw 3 interceptions at the Patriots practice for their training camp. Remember when people said he was going to start over Cam? Yeah, I do too. That's funny.
Well, apparently he was throwing interceptions in practice last year too, and not looking very good.
Yeah, he was. So I mean, Cam's a starter in New England, if you're asking me.
Dude, Cam's a stud, dude. I think he's going to come out and be like, probably the comeback player.
Oh, yeah, I agree. He probably will be. Because he's probably still pissed off of what we did to him. And trust me, I still am too.
As you should be. They did him wrong, dude. The Panthers organization did him dirty.
He ain't that the damn truth.
But we've already discussed that.
Yeah, it still makes me mad. You know, I don't know, man. I'm so ready. So,
dude, I'm ready for it to get started. I'm ready to see him play. We're so close. We're getting there.
You know, here's the thing, though. You got everything ramping up right now. Like, baseball season's in full swing, and they've finally stopped acting like damn morons.
Yeah.
The Yankees just swept Boston. The Dodgers are good. The Cubs are good. The Rockies are really good. You got the NBA and NHL playoffs in full swing. The actual NBA draft lottery is Thursday night, by the way.
Yeah.
Last week, the NHL draft lottery was conducted, and yours truly, New York Rangers, won the lottery. Which, look, I'm a big fan. I love it that we're getting Alexei Lafreniere, but, I mean, poor Detroit, man. They were by far the worst team in the league. They won like 20 games, and they got the 4th overall pick. Like, you got to feel for that. But that is perfectly why that the lottery system is in place. It's to prevent tanking.
Yep, exactly.
That's why it's there. Like, you can't really do it in baseball because you got 162 games on the usual. And in football, it's really not tanking. Because you had the Dolphins tried that and didn't really work, even though it kind of worked because they got to it anyway. But you've seen teams in baseball and hockey try to tank. The New York Knicks, who I think are trying to tank every year, and they get screwed over in the draft lottery every year, and I think it's hilarious. But I guess here is my main question to you, though. Who wins the NBA Finals?
Dude, Celtics are looking good. I don't want to be biased because I'm a Celtics fan, but I think Dude Brown.
He's playing his butt off, man.
Looking good, but dude, they're playing well. But dude, look, I just can't believe with Gordon Hayward, man.
Yeah.
Out for like 3 or 4 weeks. That's a big blow, bro.
Yeah, that's an ouch.
But granted, he hasn't really shown out for the bubble.
No, but you also got to remember, if y'all get through Philly, which I think you will in pretty easy fashion, you're probably going to be playing Toronto, and you're going to need Gordon Hayward if y'all want a chance of beating the Raptors.
I'm fine with that, though. Like, I mean, I don't. I think we can play. I think we can win without him, without Hayward.
Yeah, I just, as much as it kills me to say it because I don't like him, I don't think anybody's stopping the Clippers.
That's a big pick too. That's a big pick too.
But the bubble's been fun to watch, especially Damian Lillard. Dame's been ridiculous.
Oh, he's been incredible.
And the Blazers are playing the Lakers in about 10 minutes on TNT, I believe.
Yeah.
TNT, you're welcome for the plug. Should be an interesting series. You got Damian and CJ McCollum against AD and LeBron. So, It should be a fun series. I think it's going to go a lot farther than people think it will. And if you don't think
yeah, by the way, Delby told me that LeBron is most definitely dropping 60 points tonight.
Oh,
and he would bet me money. So he's locking that in. So you remember that he said that.
All right, we said it on the podcast. He'll have to relive that when it doesn't happen. I love LeBron, but he's not going to put up 60 because Anthony Davis is there.
Bro, that'll be said. Braun dropping 60 tonight. That's what he said, bro.
Oh, man. So, I just love the fact, like, quarantine from, like, March and through, like, June when we didn't have any sports. Man, it sucked.
Yeah, that was awful, man.
I'm so glad we've got...
We're about to get across the hump, man. We're so close.
Yeah, we've got sports now. As I said, college football is just a massive question mark. I did read something earlier that there's a rumor going around that the Big Ten is going to reverse its postponement decision and actually have football in the Big Ten. Like,
I don't know, dude. Like, with UNC, we talked about this.
Yeah.
UNC Chapel Hill, they went to online.
Yeah, who knows? But I love college football. I just don't see a way it can be played.
I mean, you think these players, granted, I'm not, like, being, like, disrespectful to the players. You really think these players, because I understand what they're doing, you think these players are just going to sit in their dorm rooms, wake up, go to practice, come back, quarantine, not go out to, go out and hang out with buddies on the team to play Xbox Madden together? You think they're not going to go to different dorm rooms? You think they're not going to go to a particular party one night that's probably, only supposed to have a few people, but we all know that it's probably going to have more. I mean, it's just it's the way it's going to be. You can't stop college kids from being college kids at the end of the day. Athletes are a part of that. I don't care what you say, you aren't going to be able to keep those kids out of that. I mean, it's just the way it is.
Yeah, I agree. I do think next year's NFL draft with all this college nonsense is going to be very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Especially for the players that opted out, like Micah Parsons, Gregory Rousseau, Caleb Farley. I think it should be interesting. Apparently, Sean Wade's dad, he's a defensive back, Ohio State, first-round projected selection, is going to go protest and talk to the commissioner of the Big Ten at the Big Ten's office tomorrow.
Ooh, big news.
Like, what?
You guys want to play?
They obviously want to play, and I find it funny that the two guys that are leading this charge of the We Want to Play are the top two quarterbacks that are both going to be top 5 picks next year in Trevor Lawrence and Justin Fields. Like, to me, that's saying a lot. What you mentioned earlier about Joe Burrow, I think he has a chance, but I just think Cincinnati's line is too much of a question mark. I will say this: AJ Green staying healthy, it will be his best friend.
Mm-hmm, I agree.
Find AJ Green, get him the ball, because the man, I'm telling you, he's a top 15 receiver when he's healthy. He was part of that ridiculous 2011 draft class. That top 6 that I always talk about.
Mm-hmm.
AJ, Julio, Peterson, Marcel Darius, Von Miller, Cam. Also, I know this is kind of going towards sports, but not really. Is that Pat McAfee this Saturday wrestling at NXT TakeOver 30.
Let's go. He's going to put the soul out of Adam Cole. Let's go.
Shock the system. You know how I feel. But it should be interesting. I'm usually not a fan of the, like, gimmicks with, like, pro athletes and stuff.
Also, Big E, I'm so glad that you mentioned this topic because we discussed this before. Remember how you said you thought that Pat was on contract with this whole thing that occurred during Pat McAfee's show, and you think that he was on contract. He was, in fact, not on contract. His contract had ran out. So I think that beef on the Pat McAfee show was real. So I think you're going to see a little bit more than just a little trying to, save the blow a little bit. I think you're going to see these guys, go at it.
Well, I
You're
mean,
gonna see.
it's
Like I said,
it's
Adam
definitely
Cole
legit
gets
beef, but you
his
know
own sport.
it's
His own sport.
it's definitely legit beef, but you know as well as I do that he's getting paid a hefty sum of money by the WWE to do this.
Oh, dude. Oh, you already know. I'm just excited to see it, though. I think it's going to be dope. I'm totally team McAfee all the way.
Like, honestly, I'm kind of curious to see what his ring gear is going to be. It's Pat McAfee.
I don't know. Dude, apparently, so on his show, he said that, like, for his, like, entrance and everything, and, like, when he comes to the ring, like, he was talking because they were asking him, like, they're like, are you going to have anybody that come out with you or anything? Apparently, like, he's going to try to get, like, some of the guys from his crew going with him, and AJ Hawk, former Green Bay Packers linebacker, which he has a show with every day, pretty much, during the week. AJ Hawk and McAfee and Hawk Sports Star.
Well, you know, honestly, I hope that he brings friends so that UE can just destroy them all at ringside and be done with it.
Because apparently he's going to get, like, jumped, you know? I think he's going to get jumped by some stooge because they know that Pat McAfee, former punter, is going to embarrass Adam Cole at a sport he's been wrestling in for, like, 10 years. In, like, China, where he first, like, started out or wherever.
It's been longer than 10 years. But
all the other places, which is supposed to be the local so-called king of NXT. Yeah, whatever. We'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see.
It's going to be interesting to say the least. They've handled this really well because usually I'm not a fan of these like athletes coming in for these one-time feuds with guys like this, but this has been something that's been boiling for years. Like these guys have had a feud for like 2-3 years.
Yeah,
and I'm glad to see it's getting somewhat of a payoff. It's definitely something different for Adam. Pat will be on NXT tomorrow night. Should be interesting to see what happens.
Wait, he's on tonight? He's going on tonight?
No, tomorrow night. Excuse me, yeah.
What if, like, commentating? Is he commentating?
Oh, no. No. He was invited by Adam Cole last week. They're having a face-to-face confrontation tomorrow night.
Oh, no. I'm excited.
Yeah. So, just so you know, NXT airs Wednesdays on USA Network at 8 p.m. Eastern, if you wanted to tune in for it.
Let's go. Not sponsored by them either, so, you know, shout out to you, Biggie.
Exactly. Yeah. Hey, WWE, you're welcome for the shout-outs, because I watch your crappy main roster shows every week.
No, hey, Biggie, mark my words, Biggie, #1 WWE fan on the entire planet.
Yeah.
You said it. I said it here first.
Oh, yeah, because I'm the one that you literally has the wherewithal and the patience to sit through Monday Night Raw and Friday Night SmackDown every single week, especially SmackDown, and just watch the crapness that this company puts out. This stupid retribution crap. No, just stop. But that's what we have NXT for, ladies and gentlemen. We're about done here for episode 12. We're still going to talk about a little few more things so we can get to the 1 hour mark because that's how we do things around here. So, Buddha, I want you to answer me some positional questions. Best quarterback
in the NFL this year.
Yep. And I have a feeling your answer is not Patrick Mahomes.
Dude, if Dez comes to the Ravens, I think it could be Lamar.
Okay.
I think it could be. I mean, they're stacked at that point. Like, given the fact that if he can run another 1,000-yard season and he can throw the ball just as well as he did last year with Dez there, definitely. But I really want to say Dak. You know, I want to say Dak because, you know.
Don't.
I'm not going to do it, though. I'm not going to do it,
Please don't.
I know, but I have my own biases, of course. But
I'm excited
for him to play. But I'm not going to say it.
I think we can both agree on running back.
Yeah, dude, of course. You got Ezekiel Elliott.
Yeah. Stop. You know who it is, my man 22.
Yeah, we got CMC, of course.
The best receiver.
Oh, see, that's going to be a tough one right there. I think I want to give it to Julio again, obviously.
Julio is the best receiver in the league. It's Julio Hopkins, MT.
Honestly, until he retires, I think I'm going to give it to Julio every year. Until someone proves me otherwise. D-Hop's close to doing it. I don't think Michael Thomas is close to doing it in my book.
No,
I think
not
D-Hop
a chance.
most certainly is.
Best tight end.
Dude, I kind of told you this earlier today. I think that if Gronkowski can return to Gronkowski the way we've seen it within the past, I think he will be the best tight end. At the end of the day, Kittle's a absolute stud. He really is.
See, here's the thing. As it currently sits, it's George Kittle.
Yes. So for me, I have George Kittle, but I think it definitely could be Gronkowski.
This really isn't a position. This is more of a positional group. Best offensive line group in the NFL.
I want to give it to the Colts.
Best defensive line, not group, player. Best defensive lineman. It's pretty simple.
Well, who do you say?
Aaron Donald, 100%.
Okay, well, yeah. I thought you said defensive unit.
Oh, no, not yet. I'll get to that. Best linebacker, also pretty much a no-brainer. Bobby Wagner.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the ones in the defense are pretty set. Best corner is Stephon Gilmore. Best safety is probably up for a little bit of a debate, but I'm going to give it to Jamal Adams. So who do you think the best defense in the NFL is?
Best defense, dude. That's going to be tough. I don't know. I think this year it could really be anybody's game for who has the best. Who do I want to say that?
I don't think it'll be New England. I think they lost too much.
I agree.
I think Pittsburgh and Baltimore are going to be up there. I think San Francisco will be up there. Dallas will be up there. Dallas will be up there. Seattle will definitely be up there.
Agreed. So Seattle too. I think they could do it as well. I think if they could sign Clowney, that'd be crazy.
I personally think the Saints could be up there. They got Cameron Jordan. Their linebacking core is pretty good. They got a really good secondary. I think they could be up there. Overall, as it currently sits, who would be your Super Bowl prediction? No bias.
I want to say the Ravens and the Seahawks.
Ravens, Seattle. Yeah, it's probably mine too until proven otherwise. Like I said, I appreciate your Dallas Cowboys fandom, and what I mean by that is, yes, you do say some stupid stuff sometimes.
It's just to make everyone upset. I love to see it.
But there's a difference between we're going to the Super Bowl and the way you say it. You say it as we have potential to possibly make a run at the Super Bowl. There's a way you say it that makes it different. You don't just come out and sound like every other Cowboys fan on the face of the planet that go, we're going to the Super Bowl. We're going to the Super Bowl 8-8.
I know, dude. I know.
Like I said, it's the thing. Like, they always focus on the Super Bowl for y'all. Like, why don't you worry about A, getting into the playoffs, and B, getting past the division round, which you haven't done since 1994?
I know. You keep reminding me of the stat, baby. I hear it. I know.
Oh, I know. I'm just telling you. But as I've said before, Dallas in no way, shape, or form should miss the playoffs this year.
No. Absolutely not.
Alrighty, boys. I know we kind of went a ways off topic trying to just find things to talk about, but this was supposed to be 3 of us, but due to circumstances, it was only 2 of us. So we kind of had to make things up on the fly. But hey, you know what happens. Episode 13 will be next week. Hopefully we'll have everybody back. If not, you know how it is. We go on. Show must go on, as the saying goes. Episode 14 in 2 weeks, we will break down every single game from week 1 from Kansas City, Houston to both of the Monday night doubleheaders in depth, in detail. We will break them all down. We will give predictions. And I have said before on one other occasion, we are doing a little competition thing between the 4 of us. We're going to predict every single regular season game. And whoever has the most points at the end of the year, I'll do something. I don't know what I'll do, but I'll do something. But we'll get into that when we do the episode 14 previews. But this was episode 12. That's Buddha. This is Big E. You can follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Boyz the Podcast. And we will see y'all next week. The Boyz out.